Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show.
Big guy, is there anything else to pay attention to? Meng Ze asked. The dog-headed bun thought for a while and said, first, you have to upgrade your technology as much as possible. At the second level, the upper limit of technology is level 20, before you go to the chaotic battlefield. The thicker the foundation, the easier it is to survive. 35. Second, just promoted to the chaotic battlefield. There will be 2 wars, 1 survival battle, 1 promotion battle. Survival war, needless to say, if you can't fight, you will die. But the difficulty of the survival battle is relatively low, and it is distributed according to the player's level. If you are still level 1, when you go to the chaotic battlefield, then the opponent is a first level Zerg. If it is a second level at that time, the opponent is the second level Zerg. The promotion battle is a promotion challenge, when you advance to the second level and the third level, and there will be a score to win. The higher the score, the better, and the higher the score, you can get a reward. If you lose, you will fail, and you will still be level 2, but resource production will be reduced by 10%, so generally speaking, the first promotion is unsuccessful, and the next promotion is more difficult than the last. Speaking of this, the dog-headed bun looked at Meng Ze. After these 2 battles, even if you are officially established in the chaotic battlefield, after that you can slowly familiarize yourself with the other rules of the chaotic battlefield. But you have to remember that the chaotic battlefield points are very important. Players above level 3 must pay a certain amount of points every month. If the points are not enough, then you have to face the survival battle again. The survival battle at this time is not the same as just coming up from the new area, and the difficulty is quite high. And that's not the most important thing. The points represent your foundation, and can be used to increase the area of your base, such as expanding floating islands or enhancing planets. The situation of having someone to guide and not being directed is completely different. Especially Meng Ze's understanding of interstellar warfare is limited to the blue star of film and television works. Originally, I just came to ask about the space interferometer, but this time the harvest was unexpected. Through a rough explanation of the dog's head bun, Meng Ze has a general idea of the chaotic battlefield, and it seems that it is not as easy to mix as previously thought. However, Meng Ze is not too worried. The war is nothing more than resources and logistics. As long as I have enough resources, the speed of explosive troops is fast enough, and the tactics of ships and seas are understood. On the -90-degree side, in front of Meng Ze, a friend, in addition to envy. At first, he and Meng Ze were on an equal footing, and even if Meng Ze was better than him, it should not be too much. But who knew that the gap between the two was already so big now? Meng Ze is naturally capable, but his family has spared no effort to support him. This wave of rioters alone costs billions of dollars, and the more high-level players transfer resources to low-level players, the higher the transit fee charged by the world platform. If level 4 pays level 3 players and charges 50% of the transit fee, then level 4 pays level 2 players and charges at least 100% of the transit fee. Meng Ze has a large amount of resource support from the family from the first level, and now, all of them add up, and his family has paid at least more than 10 billion crystal mines. That's a huge number. -90 degrees told Meng Ze with envy more than once that he also wanted such a family. It's a pity that Meng Ze can't tell him, you think too much. If it really depends on the family, I may have hung up a long time ago. Meng Ze then contacted his other 2 younger brothers, who died within the kindergarten master, and accepted some praise from the younger brothers. Hang up the communication, Meng Ze sighed a little. The ability of these 2 little brothers is indeed more different than the dream corner overtaking. Even if they have their own support, they go very slowly, and now, it is estimated that there is only 1 use left to shout 666. But there is no way. Meng Ze is walking too fast, not to mention these 2 little brothers with average ability. Even a new district overlord level figure such as -90 degrees will soon be unable to keep up with him. The remaining 1 could not be cut off, probably frightened, and in addition to routine flattery, the communication with him was repeatedly said that resolutely implementing the cooperation agreement between the 2 sides must make the big bastards in Zicheng district bleed. If Meng Ze's younger brother and friends are very happy to have such a big guy and friend, then Meng Ze's enemies are simply sleepless. When the big bastards in Zicheng district saw the news, they couldn't believe their eyes. When he couldn't show him Meng Ze's map 2 days ago, he repeatedly overestimated the newcomer. But I didn't expect that in the blink of an eye. This guy actually became the strongest in the new district. Just looking at the size of this army, there is no doubt that when Meng Ze is promoted to the 3rd level, it is likely to be the strongest rookie player ever to advance. The 2nd level is promoted to the 3rd level, This is the rule of the world, and the big bastards in Zicheng district have no way to stop it. But he has decided to do everything in his power to prevent Meng Ze from gaining points and resources. And as long as Meng Ze does not have points and resources, then he will constantly face survival battles in the third level. Even if he wins, the constant attrition can gradually weaken him. And he also has a treasure at the bottom of the box. Originally, there was no specific object to use, but now, he is ready to keep it for Meng Ze and send him a surprise. Even if the big bastard in Zicheng district thinks that he has many means to deal with Meng Ze, he still regrets it very much. And if he can do it again, he will definitely let his stupid brother die. Even if you die 4 or 5 times and start over, it is much more cost-effective than provoking such a big enemy. Players like the big bastards in the West City district can also consider how to kill Meng Ze, and the players around Meng Ze can only be said to be panicked and at risk. Everyone knows that Meng Ze rioted so many soldiers at once, and he definitely didn't let him eat leisurely. Then these surrounding players will inevitably bear the brunt, and will become a stepping stone for Meng Ze's growth. No one thinks they have a chance of winning, not even if all the players around them join forces. Some of the more powerful players have already started to move their families, and are ready to redevelop in areas far away from Meng Ze. And those who lack strength can only despair and wait for death. There are even some players who are not willing to waste time and directly apply for rearrangement. Because Meng Ze blocked strangers' communications, Dream Bend overtook this side and received a lot of pleas. But the Dream Corner overtaking did not convey a single one. Since the boss decided to expand, he only has the reason to help as a little brother. Where can he use these pleading information to add congestion to the boss? Even their friends, Dream of overtaking on the bend, told them that there was nothing they could do about it, and they had to move early or reopen. To the north of the ruins, the once beautiful Northern Alliance has long existed in name only. Not only was it crushed and beaten by the Zerg, but even when the strongest strength of Meng Ze new district was exposed, the Northern Alliance silently dissolved itself without setting off the slightest wave. When Meng Ze officially began to expand, the disturbances in the new district stopped. The huge legion spread out from the various mining areas like Mercury, and it was unstoppable. Occasionally there is unwilling, fierce resistance, and even a small wave cannot be stirred. Sitting in the command center, Meng Ze watched his legion advance with a relaxed expression, as if walking leisurely. The tank group even needs only one fire gathering to wipe out the entire mining area of the other party. The Zerg, who were once Meng Ze's formidable opponents, can now be considered a little trouble. Meng Ze didn't actually deliberately target the Zerg, but his expansion was too fast, causing the Zerg to grab new mines at a pace that could not keep up. So the relic Zerg, who originally planned to do something in the new area, lived 3 or 4 days longer. The captured Zerg brain worms were closed by Meng Ze to a sub-base, and after their 3rd level, they could extract the brain worm brain extract by themselves. In the trembling of everyone in the new district, Meng Ze won more than 400 pieces on the first day, more than 600 pieces on the 2nd day, and 1,000 mines on the 3rd day. Then, players discovered that Meng Ze's legion was larger again, although the exact amount is unknown. But someone specifically calculated that Meng Ze's legion had at least doubled. Only Meng Ze himself knows, not double, but twice. On the 4th day, Meng Ze again took more than 1,000 mines, 670 then, the 5th day, day 6, until the 8th day, Meng Ze suddenly received a prompt. The number of mining areas you occupy has reached the limit of 10,000. The mine area mark has been fixed, and the new mining area you occupy again, or the new mining area you reoccupy, or the changed mining area, will not be counted in the mining area under your jurisdiction when you are promoted to the chaotic battlefield. 35. For the first time, Meng Ze knew that there was actually an upper limit to occupy the mine, and he knew that it was time to pick the mine. Meng Ze dialed the dog-headed bun communication. Big guy, I remember you said that when the relic Zerg were promoted, they occupied all the mines in the new area, right? Did I say that? The dog-headed bun scratched his head, and didn't remember it at all. You must have said that the graves of other players in the new district are several feet tall. Meng Ze reminded. You said there is. The dog-headed bun couldn't understand what Meng Ze was asking for this. Big guy, the mines in the entire new area are at least millions. Do the relic Zergs actually occupy so many? Meng Ze expressed shock that if he occupied 10,000 mines, he would reach the upper limit of the world rules. Brother, how do I know? The dog-headed bun was speechless. What was wrong with bragging about himself? Big guy, I want to know about how much I'm useful. The dog-headed bun thought for a moment, and said, in fact, in the later stage, not many people know how many mines the Zerg have. And when the Zerg first arrived at the chaotic battlefield, Everyone also explored her base. 35. It's just about 10 mines. But no one believes that the Zerg only has 1,000 mines, so they guess randomly. Meng Ze frowned, and said in his heart, it's impossible. You can account for 10,000 mines, how can the Zerg not be less than yourself? But according to what the dog-head bun said, the rule of 100 ores in one, the Zerg has more than 10 mines, isn't it really only more than 1,000 mines? By the way, the dog-headed bun suddenly added, the new mine pile of the Zerg is different from ours, not only is it large, but the color of the mine pile is aqua blue, while ours is ice blue. The players are all ice blue? Meng Ze asked. Not necessarily. I've heard that high-level players' mines also have aqua blue, but they can't be detected, so I've never seen them. I see. Thank you, Bun Boss. 35. Brother, what are you asking this for? The dog-headed bun asked curiously. Meng Ze thought about it, and thought he could talk to the dog-headed buns, so he said, the number of mines I occupy has reached the upper limit. 10,000 pieces. The dog-headed bun was like thunder rolling in his mind. Back then, he occupied more than 300 mines, all of which were heroic and quite complacent. Looking at Meng Ze now, I suddenly feel that I am a big guy, who is really miserable. I can only brag. Meng Ze, that's a real cow, a cow to heaven. Big guy, you have to help me keep it secret. Meng Ze's call brought the dog-headed bun back to his senses. With complicated eyes, he looked at Meng Ze like a casual video. Originally, he wanted to take this video for a wave, but now he feels bored. So be it, brother, I'll help you keep it secret. This video is even a congratulatory gift from the big guy to you for this unprecedented creation. 5. After speaking, the dog-headed bun waved his hand, and hung up the communication. Meng Ze understood that the bun boss was stimulated. No way, who makes themselves so bullish? But I don't know. What the video was given to him by the bun boss, and Meng Ze opened it curiously. I saw that in the picture, it was a void battlefield. A mighty group of warships is lined up and enveloping a planet. Although the light of the shield flashed on the battleship from time to time, I don't know why, but there was no attack. Only those guarded by battleships, one after another, incomparably huge, estimated to be mothership-like battleships, were busy. Countless transport planes and small fighters flew out of the mothership, braving intensive anti-aircraft fire, piercing into the atmosphere like swords. Bloody air and landing battles in the atmosphere. On the planet, huge bright spots occasionally rise, breaking through the planet's atmosphere at a very fast speed, and crashing into the void battleship group. Some of these bright spots missed nothing, and flew directly into the void, and some crashed into the battleship, which immediately exploded into a huge plasma stream, wrapping the battleship. If the shield on the battleship does not withstand the blow, the entire battleship will soon become a spark in the void. To be honest, Meng Ze couldn't understand the process at all. It is clear that there are so many space warships, why will they become decorations? With great doubt, Meng Ze continued to look back. The screen switches to the planet, and after paying great casualties, the Terrans are considered to have successfully forcibly landed, occupy a high ground, and begin to engage in fierce battles with the vast number of Zerg troops. As the war of attrition continues, the Zerg's forces gradually become unable to keep up. At this moment, mankind suddenly burst into a support force composed of tens of thousands of transport aircraft from outer space. This brigade of transport planes initially seemed to be preparing to parachute in support of humans on the high ground, but just when the Zerg forces were attracted to mobilize, the transport aircraft group suddenly changed direction in the sky, withstanding anti-aircraft fire, and forcibly airdropped into a huge Zerg stronghold, covering an area of more than 100 square kilometers. The armored warrior legions that fell from the sky formed small dense formations, desperately delaying the Zerg's return to help. On the other side, all the heavily armored tanks quickly changed their fortress mode, and concentrated their fire to attack a strange huge Zerg building in the center of the stronghold. This building, which looks like a cone with a curved surface, covers a large area below, at least 1 square kilometer. The vertebral building pierces the sky from bottom to top, reaches the top, shrinks to only a few tens of meters in diameter, and at the top, there is a huge circular balloon, constantly agitating the contractions, releasing waves of invisible fluctuations. Occasionally artillery fire hit the vicinity, but it seemed to be caught in an invisible quagmire, and could not get close at all. On the ground, the tank's ultra-high-speed electromagnetic heavy cannon constantly penetrates the surface of the root of the strange building, explodes inside, and cuts the structure of the building little by little. Finally, when the armored warrior was about to die, the huge cone building finally could not support it, and gradually tilted, and collapsed. At this moment, Meng Ze suddenly noticed a flash of fluctuation in the sky, as if something had been affected. However, the battleship group in the void did not move. Instead, It was another round of airborne, still targeting the same building as the Zerg in the other direction. Just when Meng Ze thought that the Zerg would be weakened little by little, and then annihilated, the fleet suddenly appeared behind the original battleship group, and directly began to attack. The exchange of fire between the warship groups in the sky did not last long, but it successfully interrupted the battleship group's support for the planet. Then Meng Ze found that taking this opportunity, the strange building that had been destroyed by the Zerg stronghold was built again. At this time, the screen switches to the Dog's Bun command center, and one of them is roaring on the screen. Dog-headed buns. You are especially harmful to others and not good for yourself, Lao Tzu, and you are not at odds. Meng Ze looked. Isn't this the big bastard in Zicheng district? Suddenly, Meng Ze understood, and at this time the dog-headed bun gave himself a video recording. Meng Ze dialed the dog-headed bun communication. Big guy, thank you. Ha ha. Brother buns. Am I a cow? If you talk about him, you will do him, and you will never break your word. 5. At this time, the dog-headed bun's mood obviously recovered, and laughed. Big guy awesome. I see that in the end, the big bastard in Zicheng district is about to be angry. Then of course, the troops who have died more than 100,000 are finally going to succeed, and they are stabbed by me, and their previous achievements are abandoned. Can he feel better? He didn't vomit blood on the spot, even if he could bear it. The dog-headed bun is obviously quite comfortable with the timing of his intervention. Big guy, he is in space. So many battleships have become decorations. Why don't you attack? Otherwise, it should have been successful long ago. Meng Ze asked suspiciously. Brother, you won't be without a little military knowledge, right? Meng Ze's question made the dog-headed bun speechless. Why can such a little white occupy 10,000 minds? Is there any heavenly reason? The dog-headed bun's contempt for Meng Ze really can't help it. Who makes himself a Blue Star native? Now I can only continue the identity of the waste boy brother to the end. Fortunately, the dog-head bun is not very real, or does not care at all. Meng Ze is easy to fool the past. Bun boss, you want to ask me to eat, drink and have fun. I am very experienced. You ask me about the military. To be honest, from entering the interstellar world, I have only begun to get a little involved. Meng Ze stalls his hands. Brother, I want that life too. The dog-headed bun looked envious. Big guy, you exchanged the crystal mine for some money. If it's not enough for the old brother to give you, you should be invited to play. Then forget it. You don't feel how popular the interstellar world qualification is in the outside world, and it's much more fun than the outside. Where do you need to go to the outside world to play? Meng Ze understands the meaning of dog-headed buns, and also knows that because of his different origins, the system shields itself from some functions of the world market. But now he doesn't need that, and he can't live in the interstellar world for a long time anyway, unlike the Imperial Federation players. Well, big guy, you can call me whenever you need to. You have fun, I pay. Meng Ze said. I won't be polite with you. You're a super tycoon now. The dog-headed bun was so envious that he was almost drooling. Easing his emotions, the dog-headed bun said, Brother, the question you asked just now, let me tell you, if you don't know, brother, you will suffer a big loss. Meng Ze looked like he was listening, and he was genuinely curious about what was going on. In our universe, each planet has its own force field. The size of the planet is different, the vitality is different, and the size of the force field is also different. As you know, the StarCraft simulation world in some ways almost completely replicates the reality of the universe. Therefore, the planets of this world also have planetary force fields, but under normal circumstances, the force field of the planet itself is not strong and has little effect. But when the planetary force field is amplified through technology, it is different. Asking for flowers. Do you know why the big bastards in Zicheng district don't carry out long-range attacks? It's not that it can't, it's that it's useless. The Zerg building that was destroyed is one of the Zerg's planetary force field amplifiers. After the planetary force field is amplified by the planetary force field amplifier by tens of millions of times, all long-range attacks will be greatly weakened. Some powerful planets, under the action of the force field amplifier, can even weaken the attack power of the main gun of the battleship to 1% of the power. 9. In this case, if you don't destroy the planetary force field amplifier on the planet first, the battleship is waste. 35. Of course, the planetary force field also has weaknesses. Due to the factors of the planetary force field itself, the planetary force field has almost no weakening effect on the attack that enters the force field. 50. However, the target of the battleship is too big to approach, so it can only use the assault force to first pull out the force field amplifier of the planet. The key to Star Scramble is the preservation of force field amplification. 35. The dog-headed bun was very detailed, and Meng Ze naturally understood. In that case, what are you building so many warships for? Brother, You don't have a battleship. Will your landing force be able to reach its destination alive? It's not that you didn't see how heavy the losses were caused by me when the big bastards landed in Zicheng District. 99. Meng Ze reacted that the question he asked was indeed a bit stupid. He stared at Star Wars and ignored the war in interstellar space. Big guy, I understand. Thank you for this time. Haha, don't be so polite. Just look for your bun brother if you have something. End communication with dog-headed buns. Meng Ze thought about it and paid for a public Wart Sony announcement on the Wart Sony channel. I am Meng Ze, and from now on, I will no longer expand, no longer actively attack peripheral players, and I hereby announce. As soon as this announcement came out, the 320 new district cheered, and the shadow that covered the sky finally dissipated. Regardless of the reason for this announcement issued by Meng Ze, since it was said publicly in front of everyone, in the war zone, everyone believes in its credibility. Friends and younger brothers also sent communications, and Meng Ze replied, I can't digest it. Only when communicating with -90 degrees did he specifically mention that the upper limit for occupying mining areas was 10,000. Because among all people, there is only -90 degrees, there is such a slightest possibility of full mine. The next time is the most leisurely period, since Meng Ze entered the interstellar world. During this period, Meng Ze only did two things: climbing technology and saving resources. Using this free time, Meng Ze finally returned to his hometown. Looking at his aging parents, Meng Ze had mixed feelings. Secretly mixing brain extract into his parents' meals for his parents to eat, Meng Ze felt a little relieved. I have seen many elderly people, as they get older and more demented. Meng Ze once thought that life was sad. Now I can finally keep my parents away from this danger. Meng Ze stayed at home for more than a week before leaving, and with a slightly successful career, he transferred more than 1 million savings to his parents in Kerry. The reluctant eyes of his parents when he left made Meng Ze feel quite uncomfortable. It's just that his current life is really bizarre, and 670 spends most of his time in the interstellar world, and it is really not good to get along with his parents for a long time. Maybe one day, he will be able to solve this problem, but not now. Leaving home, Meng Ze went to Manhwa to meet his younger brother Meng Tan, and even met Meng Tan's girlfriend. He casually handed Meng Tan a bottle of mineral water with ingredients, and saw Meng Tan drink it. Meng Ze asked his younger brother, how is your relationship with your girlfriend? Hearing his eldest brother ask about this, Meng Tan was not embarrassed, and said directly, it's better, but I'm about to graduate, I don't know what will happen in the future. Meng Ze nodded, thinking in his mind. When eating, Meng Ze said in front of his little brother's girlfriend Liu, big brother, I have a busy career. I hope you can go back to take care of your parents after graduation, of course, if your parents are willing. You don't have to go back, you can live in any city. Brother, don't worry, I will take care of my parents. Meng Tan did not hesitate, and agreed to come down. Seeing that Meng Tan directly agreed to come down, Liu was a little unhappy, and wanted to stop talking. Meng Ze then looked at Liu, and said, Xiao Liu, I asked Meng Tan about you, and the reason why I said this to your face is also to believe in your feelings. Big brother, Liu wanted to say something, but didn't say it. I probably know what you want to say, don't worry, since the eldest brother asked Meng Tan to do that, he won't let you feel troubled in life. Liu showed a different look. She knew a little about her boyfriend Meng Tan's family situation, and she didn't know where her boyfriend's eldest brother came from to say such a thing. Meng Ze didn't talk too much nonsense, and said directly, I will leave 20 million yuan for Meng Ze as his cost of taking care of his parents. Of course, this is not all about money, and you can also find me if you have any difficulties in the future. Money can't solve all problems, but money can solve most problems, and the problems that can be solved with money are not a problem for Meng Ze today. Meng Ze believes that what Liu thinks should be within the scope of solving. Sure enough, Liu immediately agreed. It's just that Meng Tan was full of confusion and asked, brother, why are you suddenly so rich? The care of his parents was arranged. Meng Ze was sick and said happily, brother has succeeded in starting a business, but his career is still in the growth period, so you must put all your energy, and the affairs of your parents will be handed over to you in the future. After speaking in front of Meng Tan, he transferred 20 million to him. Hearing the prompt of collection, Meng Tan was like in a dream. 20 million, how to say that it will be transferred, and it is not 2,000 yuan. What Meng Ze didn't know was that the bank side also panicked because of this sudden large transfer of funds. Fortunately, after the fact, all sources were legal, and only then did it subside. Back in Taiyuan, Meng Ze accompanied the girl to the amusement park and watched movies on the weekend, and the former matchmaker unconsciously made a small tale, making Meng Ze unable to use many small actions. However, when watching the movie, Meng Ze finally seized the opportunity to kiss Wei, while Zhang Lingling was not paying attention. The dimly lit cinema obscured the girl's blushed face. Meng Ze purses her lips and feels the fragrance lingering. Meng Ze's vacation lasted more than 20 days until the hardest technology to climb, nuclear research, was raised to level 20. During this period, he and Luo saw each other twice, and the last time he finally got rid of Zhang Lingling. Being alone has made the relationship between the two grow by leaps and bounds. When getting along, Luo also talked excitedly about her monthly exam results. After the transformation of brainworm brain extract, Luo's memory, comprehension ability, logical thinking ability, etc. have been greatly improved. During the monthly examination, from the original grade of more than 100, successfully entered the top 10 of the grade, outstanding performance 0. On Luo's mother's side, because there has been no discovery, after the monthly exam results came out, she finally dispelled her suspicions about her daughter. At the same time, he is also convinced of his daughter's excuse to go to the library on weekends to read books. After the technological upgrade was completed, Meng Ze retracted his energy and reinvested in the interstellar world. For so many days, Meng Ze's minds were all idle, not a single one was developed. It's not that Meng Ze is incompetent, but that he has experienced the effects of the last riot and doesn't want to be too dazzling at the last promotion. If you go all out to develop it, you will have to buy hundreds of command centers every day, and even ordinary people may feel abnormal. And if you just develop slowly, maybe not much yet, you will enter the chaotic battlefield. Meng Ze specifically understands that because the new minds in the chaotic battlefield are all merged, there will be corresponding command center level requirements. For example, for a 100, merger mine, at least a level 2 command center is required to meet the requirements of mining. And because of the merger, the number of command centers will be greatly reduced. Those command centers that were added during the development of the new district will be recovered by the world market at a discount of 50%. Back and forth, Meng Ze didn't bother with it. Now that Meng Ze technology is full, the initial value plus various bonuses has increased the mining efficiency to 5.5 times the base value. The mine alone collects more than 3.1 billion per day. If you add 3.5 scattered loose minerals, it is more than 3.2 billion. In addition, the payment of the 1 billion rent that could not be cut through the customs has also been completed. The big bastards in Zicheng district are not stupid people. After Meng Ze became the strongest in the new district, he could not pass the pass and could actually occupy 50 mines, and it was as stable as Mount Tai. How to think about it is a problem. If you want to settle the account, and even want to force the pass to cancel the contract, but when you can't cut the level, and stand up behind a level 5 advanced player, the big bastard in Zicheng district has to eat this stuffy loss. The 2.5 billion crystaller is almost equivalent to a week's worth of resources for the big bastards in Zicheng district, and this wave can be regarded as a loss of old blood. Part of this account was naturally credited to Meng Ze, but Meng Ze didn't care. Anyway, there was more debt. Redirecting his energy to the interstellar world, the cells of Meng Ze's body seemed to be cheering. After more than 20 days outside, it was as if a century had passed. I'm getting used to life in the interstellar world now, Meng Ze said silently in his heart. Straightening his mind out, Meng Ze began to prepare for the promotion. The first is to collect drawings of the third level architecture and technology, and the level is, of course, also mysterious. The third level mysterious architectural and scientific and technological drawings and chips are basically 50 million to 100 million copies in the free market. This level of chips, drawings, Dream Star Nightway boss cannot find a complete set. Meng Ze, I didn't expect you to be promoted to the third level so soon. The Dream Star Night glowing boss was a little emotional. Last time, because of the matter under investigation, there was a little conflict with the big guy, and Meng Ze originally thought that the relationship between the two would be more raw. But then the contact found that this contradiction not only did not make the relationship between the two worse, but because some things were opened, the 0-5 relationship between the two became more and more natural. The big guy of Dream Star Night Glow, in front of Meng Ze, also removed some of his cold posture and spoke casually. I didn't expect it. It felt like in a dream. Meng Ze honestly said that this speed was indeed unexpected by him, especially when the main mind did not advance to the ranks. I don't know what reason there was a mutation, which greatly accelerated the process. Do you know anything about the Chaos Battlefield? Dream Star Night Light asked. Learn a little. Meng Ze didn't dare to say full. Dream Star Nightway glanced at him. As long as you don't know nothing, gain a foothold in the chaotic battlefield. Naturally, there is a lot of time for you to familiarize. 35. Speaking, Dream Star Nightway paused, but still asked, why are you in a hurry to be promoted, and not develop more? There can't be too much. When I occupied 10,000 mines, The command center reminded me that the upper limit of mine occupation had been reached. 35. The eyes of the Dream Star Knight glow exposed the shock in his heart at this time. It was the first time he had heard of this situation, and no one had ever occupied a mine that reached this number before. It took a while for Dream Starry Knight to ease his mood. Looking at Meng Ze's eyes, it became more and more complicated. What a fortune it is to have taken up all the good things by this kid. Dream Star Knight Wei thought of the picture he saw at the beginning, and he was very emotional. Skipping these topics, the two revisited the matter of tertiary drawings and technology. In addition to the third-level spaceship shipyard, third-level biochemical arsenal drawings, third-level mysterious level heavy element fusion energy power pack chips, and sixth-level Star Spirit Race's energy field shield technology that can completely replace third-level energy shield technology. Meng Ze needs a lot of drawings and technology. The first is the one-to-one promotion drawing of the secondary building. In addition to the existing biochemical arsenal, the names of the four main buildings of the supply station, the Engineering Research Institute, the Reloading Research Institute, and the Science Station have not changed, and the corresponding three-level mysterious drawings are directly purchased to advance. The Biochemical Research Institute was changed to a Tertiary Biological Research Institute, the Forge was changed to a Tertiary Heavy Equipment Factory, the Airport was changed to an Aircraft Manufacturing Center, the Missile Launch Pad was changed to an Anti-Aircraft Turret, and the Fortress was changed to an Early Warning Defense Center. Among the annex buildings, there are 9 mechanical depots, physical laboratories, control towers, and espionage research centers, which are upgraded together according to the main building. Satellite stations, nuclear bomb wells, are separated into separate buildings and require corresponding drawings to upgrade. In addition, the third-level technology also adds a space shipyard, railguns, floating batteries, and space disturbance observation radars. In terms of technology, from second-level technology to third-level technology, the most core energy supply has changed. The energy used by tertiary technology is called heavy element fusion energy. All the buildings and weapons of the third-level technology are powered by this new energy source. Due to the improvement of energy supply, various energy-related technologies and technological performance have been greatly improved, specific to the class, not only the power, weapon power, etc. The most influential is the energy field shield. The energy field shield technology that obtains stronger energy replenishment will gradually change from an auxiliary defense tool to the most important means of defense. At this point, the upper limit of a soldier's life force is limited, even if it is constantly optimized. Unlike the Zerg, humans have a natural advantage in genetic evolution. In terms of equipment, as the basic material, its strength is also capped, and the higher it goes, the greater the cost increases with each increase. But energy shields are different. As long as the energy supply is sufficient, the shield's defense ability can easily reach 3, 5, or even 10 times 100 times that of equipment. In the interstellar world, due to the rules, the energy field shield was quantified. The second-level energy field shield is almost as strong as the class health. However, the third-level energy field shield, combined with a powerful enough energy, can reach double, triple, or even higher strength than the soldier's health. Although the survivability of soldiers has gradually changed to the dominance of shield technology, the importance of the class has not decreased. First of all, at the third or even fourth level, the miniaturization technology of shields was not popularized. The technology of the Imperial Federation in the interstellar world does not meet such requirements, unless it is like Meng Ze, who obtains the shield technology of the Star Spirit clan. Another very important point is the carrying capacity of soldiers. 670. The more advanced the soldier, the higher its carrying capacity. If we set 1000 shields to a value of 1.0, this is the level of ordinary soldiers, then elite soldiers can carry a shield bonus of 2.0, legendary soldiers can carry a shield bonus of 4.0, and mysterious soldiers can carry a shield bonus of 10.0. Some people may wonder why there are still not many people willing to produce high-level soldiers if the high-level military is so good. The first is naturally the cost problem, and the price of high-level soldiers is casually several times, or even 10 times that of ordinary soldiers. The price of the third-level ordinary soldier is 400, while the price of the 2-level mysterious class of Meng Ze is 2000, and the third level will reach 4000. The second is the question of survival and promotion. Players face opponents in survival battles, and promotion battles are matched accordingly. In other words, whichever of your classes is mysterious, the opponent will appear as a mysterious class. When fighting, everyone faces 10 soldiers, the others are 10 ordinary soldiers, and you are 10 mysterious soldiers. If you are not strong enough, or if you do not have enough resources, you basically cut off the hope of survival. There are situations that Meng Ze is not aware of right now. Meng Ze is still looking at the changes in Level 3 technology. Level 3 core technology, which changes with building upgrades, is not within Meng Ze's procurement scope. All you need to buy is enhanced technology. As energy has changed, so has enhanced technology. Reunion Energy Power Pack, Single Soldier. Level 2 Mysterious, a device that uses heavy element fusion energy as the core power, with an instantaneous power output of up to 150 CTS. Super Alloy Armor, Single Soldier, Mystery Level, Single Soldier Defense Armor, Basic Defense Ability 20 points. Super Magnetic Gauss Rifle plus Miniature Ion Cannon, Lancer. Mysterious Level, a powerful single soldier combined weapon, with an attack limit of 120/300 points. Heavy Metal Armor, Heavy Equipment. Mysterious Level, New Heavy Equipment Defensive Armor, Basic Defense Ability 40 points. Reuniting Energy Power Package, Land-based. Mysterious Grade, a device that uses heavy element fusion energy as the core power, with an instantaneous power output limit of 800 CTS. Strong Electromagnetic Cannon, Reloaded. Mysterious Level, High Energy Electromagnetic Cannon, depending on the size of the magnetic force. The power of the electromagnetic cannon changes accordingly, and the attack limit is 1200. Reunion Energy Power Package Space-based. Mysterious Level, a device that uses heavy element fusion energy as the core power, with an instantaneous power output of up to 500 CTS. Titanium Fiber Composite Armor, Air-based. Mysterious Class, Lightweight Composite with excellent defense ability of 20 points. Ion Cannon, Air-based. Mystic Level, greatly increases the power of air-based ammunition, with an attack limit of 600 points. Ion Flame Flow, Single Soldier, Mysterious Level, Heavy Element Fusion Energy, can be used as the core energy source, relying on strong energy output to generate high-intensity long-range ion flame flow. Strong Armor, Basic Armor, 10 points of defense, with strong repair ability. Nano Armor, Comprehensive, Mystic Level, Basic Armor, Defense Ability 5 points, with strong repair ability. Energy Field Shield Technology, Comprehensive, Mysterious, provides protection by consuming energy, depending on the source and quality of energy. Among them, it should be noted that the Energy Field Shield technology is both a strengthening technology and a core technology. Of all the architectural drawings and technology chips needed to advance to Level 3, Meng Ze found only half of it here in Dreamstar Nightglow. This time, the Dreamstar Nightway boss did not give a discount, obviously with the mood of fighting local tyrants. However, Meng Ze does not feel anything. He is indeed rich now, saved for more than a month, and now the crystal or stock is more than 70 billion and nearly 80 billion. Do you dare to believe it? Meng Ze even felt that if the big gangsters in Zicheng appeared in front of him now, he could be piled to death with resources alone. In addition to Dreamstar Nightglow, Meng Ze also found 3 kinds of construction and technology from the Bun Boss. For the rest, they are bought on the free market. When Meng Ze was selecting drawings and chips in the market, he found that there were many class drawings for sale under the 3rd level technology. After asking the dog-headed Bun Boss, I knew that from the 3rd level, there will be many new classes. It's not like the 1st and 2nd level. The building has its own troops. At most, there is a little difference in level. There are a variety of 3rd level troops. Some are produced by relics, some are the products of the adventure battlefield, and even some are developed by the players themselves. Asked about the players' self-developed channels, Meng Ze decided to go back and increase the number of science stations to 10. New classes and even buildings. The 3rd level began to be produced by the probability of science stations, and the more science stations, the higher the probability of appearing. Of course, most of them will be garbage and useless, but occasionally there will be classes with excellent attributes. However, in terms of classes, it is still a little far from Meng Ze, because it must be produced at the 3rd level of the building. Meng Ze packed all his belongings, greeted his close friends, bosses, and younger brothers, and began to apply to enter the chaotic battlefield. Level 2 to Level 3 must be upgraded in the chaotic battlefield. Dear Commander, you are applying to enter the chaotic battlefield in advance. Please confirm whether to proceed to the next step. Meng Ze chose to confirm. Dear Commander, the number of mining areas has reached the upper limit allowed. According to statistics, there are a total of 8,362 poor mines, 1,423 ordinary mines, 37 rich mines, 176 super poor mines, and 1 super rich mines. 2.1.2.1.2 Mine data is abnormal. Asterisk at asterisk pound pound asterisk at asterisk pound at asterisk pound pound asterisk. Super Bonanza 2 blocks. When the promotion rules of the interstellar world were confused, Meng Ze mentioned his throat and eyes, for fear that it would burp and die. It is estimated that the system intervened and let the data be corrected, disguised. The main mine is classified as a super bonanza. Dear Commander, due to the huge number of your mines, we will carry out a super consolidation of mines for you, every 1,000 mines in one mine, and the insufficient parts, separate mergers. Due to your mining technology limitations after merging, it may lead to a decrease in mining efficiency. Please improve your mining technology in time. 55. Depending on the number of mines, you will get 9 pieces of 100 piles each. You will get 2 pieces of normal mine combined super mine. You will get 1 piece of rich or combined and enhanced mine. You will get 1 super poor or combined super mine. You will get 1 super rich or combined super mine. You will get 1 super rich mine reinforced mine. 2.1.2.1 at yuan pound at percent at yuan percent at pound yuan percent at. Once again, the promotion rules are in a state of confusion. After a few minutes, the promotion rules were restored again. You'll get 22 super bonanza combined super mines. Double super bonanza, 5 billion units of single pile of crystal ore, 5 million units of recovery per hour, 100 piles of crystal ore per mine. Mining demand, level 3 command center. After system intervention, the final result made Meng Ze almost not glare out. This Nime is double super rich mine, this is the infinite mine. A simple calculation shows that the daily recovery of each mine farm is equal to 5 million * 240 hours, * 100 piles equals 120 billion, and 22 double super rich mines, 2.64 trillion recovery per day. With Meng Ze's current mining capacity, the daily collection capacity of all mines, 30,000 single miners * yield 10, * 240 hours * 5.5 bonus * 22 mine number equals 8.712 billion, just over 3% of the recovery volume. Although there is no empty treasure mountain that has not yet been able to fully collect, Meng Ze is still so excited that this kind of mine, even if he just looks at it, is also in a good mood. Your mine is not finished, and the following will be an assessment of your achievements in the new district. Number of mines, 1, of Wangzhou, 0000, rating, SSS. The number of core, 258,000 nano-miners, 20,000 engineering units, 1,500,000 biochemical gunners, 300,000 spit pensiers, 150,000 medical units, 600,000 tanks, 150,000 robots, 150,000 manlayers, 150,000 scientific spacecraft, 300,000 ghost fighters, and 150,000 transport planes, 300,000 Wagret fighters. Rating, SSS. Combat Command, excellent, rating, S. Diplomatic Alignment, excellent, rating, Promotion, extremely fast, rating, SSS. Overall rating, excellent, rating, SS+. According to your evaluation, you will get a void floating island with an initial diameter of 2,000 kilometers. Please ask the commander to start setting the distribution of your resources, buildings, military power and other things. StarCraft simulation world rules will be transferred to a fixed position for you after the void floating island is generated. Body, the void floating island is the shape of an inverted mountain, and at the beginning the entire plane above it. When Meng Ze places the mine, he can choose the terrain, plain, highland mine, depression mine, choose one of the 3. Meng Ze didn't know what the advantages and disadvantages of these 3 terrains were, and he didn't think about it. Who would let the other party hit his own mine? And at that time, his mine was not all seen. If so, it is estimated that he will become the enemy of the whole people. The highland mine that has been used is quite useful, and Meng Ze has no intention of changing. Unlike Meng Ze's previous mines, each mine must have a command center. The 3rd level command center cannot be purchased directly, but Meng Ze only needs to use the ordinary command center to add money to upgrade. The 22 mines are divided into 4 parts by Meng Ze. The most central mine is then placed at Meng Ze's headquarters command center. The other 21 mines, each of the 7 mines, are clustered together in a more regular equilateral triangle, and the mine is located at the apex of the equilateral triangle. In the end, a large highland plain with the Meng Ze headquarters as the center, and a radius of 100 kilometers was formed. Meng Ze has set up 3 huge grooves on the edge of the highland plain to serve as a passage up and down the plain. Subsequently, Meng Ze placed all the scientific buildings on the highland plain. The arms production buildings are placed under the 670 highland mine, on both sides of the intersection. With a high supply station of 4,000, it is the largest number of buildings in Meng Ze. Meng Ze was divided into 8 piles and a pile of 500, arranged in equal parts. and distributed on the periphery of the void-floating island. Bastions and missile launch pads are gradually arranged from the edge to the inside. According to the way Meng Ze is placed, the number of these two buildings at this time is not enough to form a full coverage of the entire void-floating island. Meng Ze will continue to be added later because it has not been promoted at this time. All the buildings are still second class, and the ancillary buildings are placed together with the main building. However, the satellite station and nuclear bomb shaft have been separated from the main building in advance and can be placed separately, but these buildings will not take effect until they are promoted to level 3. In addition to these existing buildings, Meng Ze also added space interferometers to the void-floating island in advance, which was placed next to the command center of Meng Ze headquarters. After the building was laid, Meng Ze began to set up the legion. Compared to the huge number of legions, in fact, the void-floating island is not large. Meng Ze hasn't spent too long on this, either. Basically, all the legions are divided into 3 parts, distributed according to the zigzag shape. Each legion corresponds exactly to a junction of a highland plane. All these settings are complete, and the void-floating island officially begins to generate. The generative process was quick, but Meng Ze didn't witness it, only to see the big screen in the command center go dark and bright. Meng Ze appeared on his void-floating island. Dear Commander, you will have up to 2 days to adjust your void-floating island, and after 2 days, you will face the first level of entering the chaotic battlefield, the battle of survival. If you are confident enough, you can also apply to start the survival battle trial early. Good luck. Meng Ze did not give him the opportunity to start the survival battle, although he believes that even if he applied immediately, the survival battle would not be difficult for him. In the case of bringing up the void-floating island, all resources, buildings, and core are the same as when Meng Ze set them up before. However, there is one thing Meng Ze did not notice before, and that is that the area of the void-floating island is all red except for the top platform. Meng Ze paid attention and said, "The area is not attackable. It's okay." Meng Ze was still wondering what if someone else pierced the bottom of the void-floating island. In such a high-tech war, this kind of thing is really not impossible. Just as Meng Ze is looking at his floating islands, the wisdom brain prompts that there is an area call, and from the content of the call, it seems to be specifically looking for Meng Ze. Meng Ze sent a communication based on the caller's information. I was then transferred to a privately set nearby call channel, and there were now 4 players in it. They are called Meng Jun, Planet 30,000 Li, Wine Sword Fairy and a Fierce Man. The first to speak was Meng Jun, who saw Meng Ze come in and immediately said, "Welcome our new friend Meng Ze to the chaotic battlefield." "Welcome, welcome Meng Ze, welcome." Several people looked quite enthusiastic, but Meng Ze was confused about the situation for a while, so he had to thank the group. "Meng Ze, isn't it a little strange why we pulled you in?" Meng Jun said. Meng Ze nodded and said, "It's a little. I don't know what everyone is going to do. I wonder how much Meng Ze you know about the battlefield of chaos." Meng Jun did not answer Meng Ze's question directly, but asked first, "I don't know much. I only know that after the chaotic battlefield, I must first face the survival battle and the promotion battle, and only by passing these 2 battles can I be considered to have a firm foothold?" "You're right," Meng Jun said. "What we're going to say today is also related to this. Of course, if you can't even pass the survival battle and the promotion battle, then everything will naturally be in vain." "Then please say," Meng Ze gestured. "Meng Ze, since you know about survival battles and promotion battles, you should know more or less about the points of the chaotic battlefield, right?" Meng Ze nodded, indicating that he knew. "We came together to help each other." Meng Jun directly explained the reason. "Surviving in the chaotic battlefield is too difficult, and it is not easy for us level 3 players to earn points. Resource grab mode, Star Wars mode, and frontline battlefield missions, none of which we can play alone, and without points, we will face survival problems all the time. 5. Therefore, we people, get together, help each other, face these difficulties together, get out of the bottom as soon as possible, and become a big boss." Meng Ze's words became weirder the more he listened. "And you didn't know that you had pulled me in." When Meng Jun finished speaking, a group of people looked at him, with hope on their faces. Meng Ze understood that all around him was a group of bitter haha, maybe still the kind of player who was on the verge of falling off. Otherwise, it will take great pains to win over a new person. "You don't know me." After being stunned for a while, Meng Ze decided to get to the bottom first. The other 4 looked at each other. What does this newcomer mean by asking this? Is he famous? The 4 immediately searched the command center for Meng Ze's information. Meng Ze has a lot of public information. What is the hard gang 3rd level Zerg in the new district, the chase and killing order of the big bastards in the Zicheng district, robbing mines, and so on. But all this information is not comparable to the most important one, the strongest player in the 320 new area, especially the million-strong legion. After reading it, Several people were a little embarrassed. This oolong made a fuss. Originally thought that everyone was poor, haha. You help me and I help you. Who knew that a giant dragon was actually mixed in? Meng Ze boss. I'm sorry, I haven't paid much attention to the information in the new district recently, but I didn't expect to pull the big guy in. Meng Ze said apologetically. That's okay. I think your way of helping each other is actually quite useful. Meng Ze said. Don't joke, big guy. The four of us here may not be enough for you to hit one finger. Planet 30,000 Li thought that Meng Ze was ridiculing them. The wine sword fairy and a fierce man. The face tilde is not very good looking. And Meng Ze only then remembered why he couldn't detect Meng Ze's void floating island. With this big guy, as soon as he arrived at the chaotic battlefield, he installed all the space interferometers. Seeing that this private channel had a tendency to be cold, Meng Ze hurriedly said, I can guess everyone's situation, but I am also telling the truth. Compared to the troops, you are naturally inferior to me, but you have been in the chaotic battlefield for a while, and you know more about the chaotic battlefield, and I just came, and someone needs to provide me with some information. Meng Ze's idea is to develop some younger brothers, who help him gather intelligence, just like overtaking on his dream bend in the new district. However, whether it can be achieved depends on the understanding of these people. Seeing Meng Ze speak sincerely, several people felt much better. Meng Ze, if you have any questions, you can always ask me. A fierce man rushed to speak in front of everyone. Others hurried to make such promises. Well, there is no free lunch in the world. If the information you provide is useful, I will naturally not be stingy. Whether you need resources or help with tasks at that time, you can find me. After Meng Ze finished speaking, he planned to leave first. At this moment, Meng Ze suddenly reminded, Meng Ze boss, I see that you seem to have a conflict with the big bastard in Zicheng district. You have to be careful of the promotion stumbling block he gives you. Oh, isn't promotion the rule of the interstellar world? How can you still stumble? Meng Ze heard about it for the first time, and I hadn't heard him mention it at the Dog's Head Bun before. There will be a lot of strange items in the Ruins and Adventures battlefield, and I know that some items can be specified to increase the difficulty of promotion, although I don't know what it is, but I have a friend who dropped a level because of this. Okay, I'll pay attention. Thank you. After Meng Ze left, the few remaining people on the channel were all mixed feelings, and the gap between people was really too big. No one will think that Meng Ze can't make the cut. The title of the strongest in the new district is not blown out if this can't be promoted. Do others still have hope? And for Meng Ze's void floating island to appear in this position, for them, they don't know whether it is good or bad. Of course, if it is just Meng Ze himself, I believe he can't look at himself, but he will have opponents or enemies, and who knows if a war will affect the pond fish. Several people looked at each other, and in their hearts they all decided to evaluate the gains and losses, whether to go or stay, make a decision as soon as possible, because the StarCraft simulation world is used as a commander trained by the Imperial Federation. The war command has been set up step by step. For example, the third level void floating island is actually just an excess, allowing players who have just experienced a ground war to gradually transfer from the ground environment to the space environment, and finally transform into the planetary environment and space environment. When Meng Ze's side was preparing to start a war for survival, some people also made some small waves because of his affairs. Emperor Starming family. Young Master Kai, I have inquired clearly about the investigation of the Special Affairs Bureau before. The housekeeper Fei Ping said respectfully to the young man sitting in front of him. Talk about it. The young man who speaks is officially Meng Ze's big brother, Meng Kai. Those people came to investigate young Master Meng Ze, but the specific matters are unknown. Hearing Meng Ze's name, Meng Chi's brows furrowed. Originally he had not been walking very smoothly recently, because the previous development in the interstellar world was not as expected. There was almost no progress in the 4th level commander, and there was even a risk of downgrading. Therefore, I had to transfer out of the middle and plan another promotion channel. Don't look at Meng Kai, who is already a 2nd level lieutenant colonel of the Empire at a young age, but this is not his ability, but the exchange of family relations. Now that there are frequent battles on the front line of the Empire, Meng Kai is a person with mediocre command talent. Even if he has a good family background, he will almost end at the level of lieutenant colonel. Wouldn't it be annoying to hear about the Secret Service investigating Meng Ze now? What the hell did this waste do? It actually attracted the Special Affairs Bureau. To say that in normal times, Meng Kai will not put Meng Ze in his eyes at all. The family raises a waste. It is not that he can't afford to raise it, he just looks down on him at most, but he won't pay much attention. But now it is the time for the second uncle, Meng Xiaowu, to compete for the administrative head of Kixing, and the recruitment of the Special Affairs Bureau is likely to make the opponent notice. If it is a good thing, it is good. If it is a bad thing, it will not become a handle in the hands of others. Besides, this happened to Meng Ze, and Meng Kai could hardly imagine that it would be a good thing. Uncle Peng, you go and get Meng Ze back, and forbid him to go out during this time. Meng Kai thought about it and ordered, okay, young Master Kai, but there is one thing. Young Master's side has been missing for a long time. 35 Fei Peng Road. Meng Kai was shocked in his heart, and hurriedly asked, when is the matter? About 2 months ago. My side has arranged for someone to look for it, but there has been no news. I am afraid that the Special Affairs Bureau will get the news. Meng Ze's disappearance is not sure if it has something to do with what the Secret Service investigated. Meng Kai said in his heart, although Meng Ze is very wasteful, he is very unpopular in the eyes of his eldest brother and even his uncle, but he is more favored by his grandfather Meng Shaon. If this matter spreads to Meng Shaon, bothering the old man not to say, maybe there will be some turmoil. Meng Kai rubbed his forehead and said with a headache, try to find it, I will also find a way to inquire here. Yes, young Master Kai. Watching the housekeeper go away, Meng Kai sighed. The second generation of the Meng family is fine, and the eldest uncle and the second uncle are considered to have relatively high status, but in the third generation of the Meng family, there was not a single adult, including himself. It's not that he doesn't work hard, he really doesn't have talent, graduated from the best military school, but ended up in the interstellar world, but was beaten to pieces by some wild roads. In the end, he really couldn't get on, and had to withdraw from the interstellar world, half cutting off his own path as a commander. Even now, although he is a lieutenant colonel, he is an auxiliary officer, that is, the kind of logistics officer who provides resources for commanders. And in the army, there is no status and StarCraft simulation world. Void Cloud Platform. This is the core of the Imperial Federation's control of the entire interstellar world. Due to the formation of the interstellar world, the Imperial Federation did not fully control it, but after years of exploration, it also obtained certain permissions. Although you can't change the core rules of the interstellar world, you can still make minor adjustments. Has Meng Ze's application for a life and death battle been sent? Dream Star Night Light asked the adjutant beside him. Colonel, it just arrived. Add a little difficulty to him, with his level, even if he fights a second-level mysterious Zerg, it is similar to playing. There is no life and death crisis, and it is still a life and death battle. Colonel, this is against the rules. The adjutant replied. How can you avoid this kind of thing and ask me to teach you? Dream Star Night Glow glanced at the adjutant coldly. The adjutant suddenly stirred, and 670 immediately said, Colonel, I will arrange it immediately. After Meng Ze sent the application for a life and death battle, the command center's prompt kept saying, Commander is being evaluated. This time stayed for several minutes, leaving Meng Ze with a twinge of doubts. You must know that the interstellar world is not a classic machine on the blue star, and it takes a few minutes to turn on a machine. The whole world should run extremely smoothly, even if Meng Ze is evaluated. It should be a momentary thing. Just when Meng Ze thought that the world was buggy again, a prompt for the next step finally appeared. Respected Commander, your overall evaluation is extremely good. Do you need to apply for a more advanced life and death battle test? If the test is successful, you will get more points rewarded. 99. Does this still need to be chosen? Meng Ze naturally chose to apply without hesitation. Respected Commander, you will face the attack of the third-level mysterious level Zerg. Please prepare in advance. After the system prompts in the command center, Meng Ze habitually prepared to use the remote detection function for reconnaissance, but suddenly it turned out that because the satellite station had been placed independently and had not yet been upgraded to the third level, the long-range detection function was ineffective. The space disturbance detection radar was also not built because of insufficient grades. In other words, now he does not have any means of remote detection. Fortunately, there are many troops in my own army, otherwise I will be pitted. Meng Ze commanded the Ghost Fighter and the science ship and threw it out. Although the void floating island is a plane, it is not out of the floating island range. Meng Ze suddenly found that the direction he needed to investigate was not only in all directions, but also above and below the void floating island. Like a spherical spread, the number of reconnaissance forces needed has been multiplied several times. Meng Ze boss, has your side started a life and death battle? Meng Jun suddenly sent a communication. Meng Ze was startled and hurriedly asked, how do you know? There are a large number of Zerg flying over from outside my floating island, and there is also a floating island base. Although I think the life and death battle is nothing for the big guy, but I will inform you. Meng Jun replied. Meng Ze was overjoyed. The announcement came at a timely time. Haha, thank you for this time. You tell me your location, I will send fighters to reconnoiter. Isn't the big guy's satellite station usable? Already separated. 35. As a comer, Meng Jun naturally knows what is going on. During this time, Meng Jun thought about it and felt that he could hug Meng Ze's thighs tightly. To be able to earn a name of the strongest in the new district from the tens of millions of people in the new district. He believes Meng Ze is not ordinary and his current situation, even if it is not dangerous, but if he wants to develop and grow, there is little hope. In that case, let's do it thoroughly. Meng Ze used his detection ability to probe all the way and package the detected situation and send it to Meng Ze. However, the more Meng Ze probes, the more frightened he feels. What kind of moth is this Meng Ze big guy doing? Is this a life and death battle? I don't know. How many times stronger than his promotion battles? It was only what he detected, and the void was layered with Zerg flying classes, dragons, devourers, guardians, queens, and so on. There are also many very large Yundu mother nests with a length of more than 10 kilometers. The Yundu mother nest is a unique transport-type flying building of the Zerg, and the third-level Yundu mother nest has been able to enter the dimensional void for flight, which is the legendary curvature flight, and the fourth-level Yundu mother nest can even perform short-distance space jumps. Meng Ze didn't know that because he was lucky, he had installed a space interferometer on his void floating island. Otherwise, he would not be facing the troops that slowly flew from the void, but directly flew in curvature and suddenly appeared in the Zerg Legion, not far from his void floating island. The incident happened suddenly, and it was bound to catch Meng Ze off guard. Of course, whether it is curvature flight or space transition, it is necessary to avoid large objects or stars in the real world, such as void floating islands, planets, etc., which cannot appear too close abruptly. Otherwise, if it is forced to appear in three-dimensional space due to gravitational interference, it will appear at the scene of a large car accident. But even if it can't be too close, compared to flying slowly in the void, I don't know how many times faster and how much time it has saved. With Meng Ze's warning, Meng Ze's reconnaissance in other directions still did not stop, and there was no big mistake in being careful. However, Meng Ze was much more determined than at the beginning, until he saw the pictures and videos of the Zerg Legion sent by Moe Jun. I wipe. Did I stab the Zerg's lair? Meng Ze looked at the picture dumbfounded, casually swept through, and the number of Zerg flying classes was hundreds of thousands. Not to mention the big guys, who are more than 10 kilometers long. The devil knows how much stuff it has in its stomach. In addition to this, there is also the old nest of the Zerg in the distance behind the void floating island. There are 2 aqua blue mines on it, plus some ice blue. Even according to the best estimates, it is more than 2,000 mines. At this scale, there are a few newcomers who can play. Meng Ze decided he was being pitted. I don't know which Diao people want to harm you. Cloud platform, dream starry night sneeze non-stop. Could it be a virus? Waving his hand to the adjutant, he inhaled a little aerosol to slow down 3.5. Coming to his senses, Meng Ze began to frantically build Wagret fighters, robots, and science ships. This kind of battlefield, other arms are not of much use, and the ground forces, the number of nearly 3 million, is enough to defend the void floating island tightly. In addition to building troops, Meng Ze also arranged crazy replenishment of airfields and forges, arranging the construction of 80 new airfields and 80 forges at once. In the future, whether it is a protracted war or a war of attrition, the speed of replenishment of troops must be fast enough. Fortunately, Uncle, I have money, super rich, otherwise I won't be directly pitted to death. Compared to the vast void, the flight speed of any aircraft is very inconspicuous. In the interstellar world, perhaps because the world is not so vast through the influence of world rules, in fact, all speeds, ranges, etc. have been proportionally reduced. Externally, curvature sailing, in fact, is a way of sailing faster than the speed of light. In the interstellar world, curvature navigation cannot exceed the speed of light in the outside world, and has become a way to greatly increase the speed of navigation. However, the principle of navigation is the same for both sailing through subdimensional space. If there is no corresponding detection means, or if the gravitational field of large floating islands and stars interferes, it will even be directly touched by the enemy. 7 or 8 hours have passed since Meng Jun sent a message to Meng Ze to the time when the Zerg vanguard appeared in Meng Ze's reconnaissance field. The longer he played in the interstellar world, the more Meng Ze realized the importance of speed of action. Fortunately, in the new area, the transport plane between the 2 mines can reach it in more than an hour, but when it comes to the chaotic battlefield, the distance of 0.5 between the void floating islands is thousands of kilometers at every turn. During this time, Meng Ze's number of Wagret fighters increased by 100,000, robots by 150,000, and science ships by 50,000. The Zerg who came closer, without a pause, directly began a tentative attack. The vanguard of the Zerg are all the fastest wyverns, a class that Meng Ze has been exposed to before, and feels fast, but fragile. But the flying dragon that appeared today is very different, and the blood-red shell of the selected book has turned blue-red, giving people a very solid feeling. Meng Ze selects the wyvern, and Jabrain gives the wyvern's analysis information. Zerg Wyvern, level 3, 10,000 health points, 100 attack power, 10 defense power, air assault class. By spraying spores attack, the effect of individual attacks is increased by 20%. This information can only be used as a reference, because these attributes are all basic attributes, and the technology bonus part is not reflected. Just like Meng Ze's current Wagger fighter, others can only see the Wagger fighter life force 2000. Who knows that he also carries a shield equivalent to thousands of life force. The Wagger fighter is an air superiority fighter with coverage type, which is the most useful against the wyvern, which likes to gather attacks. But the Zerg is obviously nothing, taking advantage of the speed of the wyvern faster than the Wagger fighter, constantly moving, even if it is attacked occasionally. Compared to its solvable amount of health, it will not have any effect for a while. Meng Ze constantly mobilizes robotic units, ground-based air defense forces with long range, high attacks, and a greater threat to the moving dragon than the Wagret. Troubled just the first wave of temptations, Meng Ze found that the Zerg of the chaotic battlefield were much more difficult than the Zerg in the new district. It's not just the high blood defense, but more importantly, the Zerg on the chaotic battlefield are obviously smarter. Meng Ze was disgusted by the way the dragon attacked. These wyverns, looking like rolled-up pee-pee shrimp, swarmed around the void-floating island. The tail hook began to rapidly condense catapult spores. When the attack was ready to be completed, they would seek the opportunity to suddenly approach, instantly throwing out the catapult spores. At the beginning, they were still a group of hundreds, but after many consecutive attacks, the Zerg found that the main attack target, whether it was a robot or a biochemical lancer, the Vitality Plus shield was also 4,000 or 5,000, and they quickly reduced the size and became a group of 50, without wasting firepower. Robots, biochemical lancers, every time the dragon raids, one will be killed in seconds. It seems that there are not many. The problem is that these vanguard troops alone are as high as 50,000. Meng Ze's losses at one time were thousands of units. Of course, the wyvern is not without losses, and the missile launch pad, robot cluster, and gunner cluster on the ground will cause great damage to the wyvern. Fortunately, the robot is good, because the range is very long. Maybe it also takes advantage. The Zerg wyvern attacks one round, and the robot can fight back for 2 or even 3 rounds. But the lancers suffered a loss, not to mention the close range. The spore bullet attack of the wyvern may be able to kill several at a time. Meng Ze is actually not unaffordable. He has money, and the number of arsenals is also large. But Meng Ze is the first time to fight such a grievance battle, which is difficult to accept for a while. Staring at the battlefield, the wyverns continued to wreak havoc. Meng Ze's mind turned quickly, and various schemes appeared and disappeared. Hey, why don't I use a ghost fighter? Originally, Meng Ze thought, the ghost fighter could not fight the dragon alone. Although the basic attack power of the two is similar, the technology bonus of the Zerg dragon is definitely much higher, and the attack of the Zerg dragon can be ejected, and the more it gathers, the greater the threat. But at this moment in time, the wyvern, as the fastest vanguard, the speed of the host is far less than it. Without the detection of the host, the ghost fighter, a class that can be invisible, has too much room to play. Meng Ze's eyes lit up, and he immediately sent out all the ghost fighters. They are cheap and not take advantage of the king and bastards, taking advantage of the absence of the Zerg host. These flying dragons are of course as much as possible, and it is best to destroy them all. Sure enough, after the ghost fighter followed, the wyvern was miserable. The stealthy ghost fighter is not only not slower than the flying dragon, but also in the absolute advantage that I can hit you, you can't hit me, and the crazy flying dragon can only spray spores indiscriminately in the void. 670. Finally out of this breath, Meng Ze was in a good mood. However, Meng Ze also found that in such a wide range of battlefields, a single class is too easy to be caught as a weak point. Meng Ze's side won a small wave, and when he was in a good mood, the Dreamstar night glow of the cloud platform was quite crazy. How can Meng Ze have an advanced space interferometer there? What's going on? Originally, I just wanted to be a good observer, too, but my clothes were all taken off, and I couldn't see it. Colonel, we really don't know about this matter. It stands to reason that even a 5-level space interferometer cannot completely stop our observation, and Meng Ze's space interferometer should be a 6th level one. The adjutant had a bitter face. Who could have known that a new ding, who had just emerged from the new district, actually had such a ruthless thing? This is still up to you, and I don't want to solve it yet. Dreamstar Night Glow is quite a nest fire. He took so much effort to raise the difficulty of the life and death battle, not wanting to further evaluate Meng Ze's potential. Who knows that in the end he will not see anything? Dreamstar Night Hui didn't think of it a little. He just wanted to make an assessment in his heart, and in the adjutant's heart, he thought that his superiors had opinions about Meng Ze, so Meng Ze's life and death battle, adding a little too much.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.